Hello, I am Soso and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about Oblivion Remastered and why it might ruin or save Elder Scrolls 6 and indeed Bethesda's entire reputation as one of the world's top video game developers. Bethesda has opened a massive can of worms with this re-release that reaches much further than either Oblivion or Elder Scrolls 6. This video digs into that can of worms and lays out where Bethesda can go from here. In case you missed the news, Bethesda just released a remastered version of the hit 2006 game Oblivion, which was the fourth game in the Elder Scrolls series. Many OG Elder Scrolls fans consider Oblivion to be the best game in the Elder Scrolls series, even better than Skyrim. The success of the Elder Scrolls series is hard to miss. Ever since Skyrim's release in 2011, fans have been bugging Bethesda non-stop about the next title in the Elder Scrolls series. To fans' credit, it has been nearly 14 years since Skyrim was originally released. In that time, Bethesda has released two major titles from different franchises, Fallout 4 from the Fallout series, and Starfield, Bethesda's first original IP in a very long time. Although fans immediately loved Skyrim, many declaring it the best video game of all time, their response to Starfield and even Fallout 4 was much more tepid. In fact, the night and day contrast between gamers' reception of Skyrim versus Starfield is plain for everybody to see. This drop-off in quality has led many fans to preemptively declare that Elder Scrolls 6 will inevitably fail, or at least greatly disappoint fans in the same way that Starfield did. I tend to agree with criticisms of Starfield, though I think my opinions are much more toned down than some of the worst bashings of the game that I have seen online. I have the same worry about Elder Scrolls 6, and much of my worry is based on the fact that Bethesda is essentially trying to use a souped-up version of the game engine that they built in the 1990s to attempt to deliver 2020's games. The capabilities of an engine put natural upper limits on the capabilities of any games developed using that engine. 20 plus years in, and Bethesda's engine is seriously starting to show some cracks, despite all of the upgrades that they've made to it over the years. So where does the remastered version of Oblivion fit into all of this? Oblivion Remastered throws a wrench into Bethesda's established use of its in-house engine, Creation 2, to develop its modern titles such as Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, and presumably any title thereafter. Not only was Oblivion not developed with Creation 2, it was actually built with Unreal Engine 5, a well-respected modern engine originally released in 2020. Additionally, by allowing Virtuous to inject some outsiders' artistic vision to the Scrolls franchise, fans might come to expect a certain quality that Bethesda has not shown itself capable of delivering alone in a very long time. Many gamers have criticized Todd Howard and other leaders at Bethesda for prioritizing profit over quality in recent years, practicing the same enshittification that has made Google and other online services borderline unusable. I think the best demonstration of this issue was the concept that Bethesda should have made Starfield as big a game as possible. Sure, you can visit over 1,000 planets and moons, so long as you don't mind going to the same dungeons, clearing the same loot spots, killing the same enemies over and over and over again. If there were a phrase that could sum up Starfield, it would be quantity over quality. Todd Howard said in the June 2022 gameplay reveal for Starfield that it was Bethesda's most ambitious title ever. Did ambition come at too great a cost of quality then? Adding Unreal 5 and Virtuous to the Elder Scrolls mix might fix that problem, but it will only create newer, bigger problems in its wake. Indeed, the gameplay in the trailer that Bethesda just released suggests that Oblivion Remastered is the breath of fresh air we've all been craving. Side note, I haven't actually had a chance to play Oblivion Remastered yet, but I will on my Twitch channel, same username. Come check out my stream. That footage shows a beautifully remastered game with delightful lighting, textures, and visual effects. Though still wonky, especially in first-person combat, the physics of the game are clearly improved. None of these qualities would be possible without Unreal 5. Some of my biggest complaints about Starfield was that everything seemed too shiny, too stiff, and rather one-dimensional. That doesn't seem to be a problem with Oblivion Remastered at all. If anything, my only complaint is that Oblivion Remastered appears a bit too much like the Horizon series or Hogwarts Legacy, other Virtuous titles with a certain cartoonish visual quality that just isn't my favorite. Beggars can't be choosers though, and Oblivion Remastered seems to look pretty good, all things considered. Assuming that fans receive Oblivion Remastered well, and there is already evidence suggesting they have been, then the game will pretty easily outshine Starfield. What if Oblivion Remastered risks outshining Elder Scrolls 6 though, even though that game hasn't even come out yet? That is a massive risk for the Elder Scrolls series and also for Bethesda's entire reputation. The situation puts Bethesda at a clear crossroads. Do they chug along with Creation 2 and hope that they have enough talent on hand to mask the glaring weaknesses of their engine? Or do they scrap the entire framework that they've been working with for nearly 30 years, potentially having to redo everything that they've done for Elder Scrolls 6 using Creation 2? Keep in mind that fans have been waiting a very, very long time for this game. The corporate folk that seek to make a lot of money off of Bethesda titles have been too. It's my guess that this crossroads is well understood at Bethesda, and that Oblivion Remastered is actually a trial balloon to test fans' appetites for a Bethesda title developed with a non-creation engine. Todd Howard himself has expressed desire to recapture the decades-long interest that fans have had with Skyrim for both Starfield and Oblivion Remastered. Clearly, that first attempt was a flop, but maybe it's not too late for Oblivion, and maybe, just maybe, Bethesda can, using Unreal 5 or another engine, chart a path forward that will help to deliver some more positive reception for Elder Scrolls 6. I hope that I'm right, and I hope that Bethesda is having the identity crisis I think it needs to go through in order to become the best version of itself possible. I would personally be happy waiting another 3, 5, maybe even 7 years for a better version of Elder Scrolls 6 to come out. There is a specific line in the Oblivion Remastered release video that makes me think that this could happen.
When we decided to remaster Oblivion, we were really picky about finding the right partner. From the very beginning of this project, we had one rule. We weren't going to do this if we weren't going to be able to do it right.
In the meantime, can we expect a remastered Skyrim using Unreal 5 or another engine? It seems a touch ridiculous given all of the updates, DLC packages, and mods that have been released for Skyrim since 2011, and yet nothing would be more Bethesda than releasing yet another reskin of its most popular title. This one could actually be worth the hype too. All this to say, no one engine or development partner is going to fix all of Bethesda's problems, even if the company takes a completely different tack as they did with Oblivion Remastered. Aside from its engine limitations and its quantity over quality instincts, one of my biggest complaints about Starfield was the lack of time and effort that was put into its stories. Even 30 hours of gameplay in, I didn't have any particular emotional attachment to any of the characters, and the main questline seemed a bit hollow and overly engineered to force NG gameplay. There were moments of genuine interest there, like with the United Colonies questline on Terramorphs, or digging into Sam Coe's family's past in the main questline, showing that Bethesda had some promising starts there, only to cut them off too early. The big reveal during the main storyline's climax that it was actually space exploration and the pursuit of knowledge for knowledge's sake that killed Earth was a fascinating and highly topical moment, yet the game returned to its bland vibe after just a few minutes of dwelling on that subject. On top of game physics and other visual elements, Bethesda will need to think long and hard about the characters, story, and social commentary that go into Elder Scrolls 6. The best titles in science fiction and fantasy across video games, books, and movies all do this. My only hope is that Bethesda becomes self-aware enough to ensure that this happens for Elder Scrolls 6.